It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Oh, I saw a 6-foot snake, the one in the middle of the road, and I thought it was fake, so I picked off the road. Don't do it for my love, I do it for my love, I do it for my love.
Hello and welcome to another Worldside Fish and Fly Tying video. Today we're going to look at a fly that incorporates two classic flies together. We've got the Soldier Palmer and the Clan Chief. And I thought of this fly, maybe it's been done before, I don't know. I put this together anyway for 2019. It did exceptionally well in bright windy weather on the hill lochs. It's a bob fly. It's more of I suppose you could say like a true wet bob fly. It's a proper subsurface fly, but it certainly brought fish up, and it's one that I'll definitely have again for next year. Now we're tying it in a size 10 today, so we've got size 10 B170s. Of course, if you want to go heavier, you can use something like a B175. We've got black tyne silk. It's Vivas in a size 12. So you can use anything to match that. Yeah, like again, you can vary. I sometimes quite like to use the olive dun colour, as I said before in a previous video. It all depends what you fancy, really. So we'll put the silk on there first, and once that's caught in, we'll come into the back and trim that off. Now, obviously, we all know that a Clan Chief has got that distinct tail. It's got that lovely like kind of pinky orange red with the fluorescent yellow over it. So what we're going to use for this today, we're going to use Glow Bright. We've got number 4 and number 11 here. Now the way that I do this, you can, of course, if you get thicker wool or flosses, you can bypass this, but I take a length of floss, I double the floss over, and then I double it over again. So you've now got 4 lengths of floss. If I could just do it properly, it would always help. And we just catch that in anywhere at all on the shank. It doesn't matter, as long as you get it sitting up at in the right position. So we'll bring that down. And then on top of that, we're going to use the same technique for the number 11. So we double it over, and double it over again. And that one gets tied. Oops, sorry, just pull that through a little bit, that's better. That one gets tied on top. And again, because you're using a thin floss, it doesn't matter how this, you can work around with it to a certain extent. So once it goes on, it's on. Right. And obviously we can't leave the fly looking like this. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back, we're going to pull the pieces together, we're going to come back about maybe maximum half the length of the body. And I'm going to trim, and that's your tail. Now, after that, we are going to tie in a rib. The rib is gold wire, small. You can use oval tinsel if you want as well. It doesn't really matter, it's up to your choice. When you tie this in, try and tie it in the whole length of the body to keep it reasonably uniform. And the way that I like to do this, you'll see where the wire is just now. I mean, that's quite far up. If it was, for example, up here, it's also fine. Because I would do reasonably loose turns and then just pull the wire back until it's in position, which is about here, and then tie it off. And it just can be a little bit of a time saver, that one. Right. So the next thing we're going to put on now is going to be the dubbing. Now, the dubbing that I like to use for this fly, you can use all kinds of dubbings. I prefer to use seals fur wherever possible. It just seems to give more life in the water. The stuff that I'm using today is from Frankie McPhillips. And we're going to use this one here, Malone's Fiery Brown. Again, it's a personal preference. You can do this with any other material if you want. If you prefer the synthetic dubbings, you can of course use them. So we're just going to pinch a little bit of dubbing out, stick it on the silk or the thread, a little bit of saliva. You can use wax, you can use whatever you want to attach your dubbing on. I'm just lazy. I use good old-fashioned spit. And we'll spin that up and get it on. And the way that I like to work with seals fur, let's take that so it fell down, is twist it around once and then tighten it up. And once you've done that, you should get most of the body without having to tighten again. Give it a little tighten there. Now, of course, if it's too much or too little, you can add or take away as you feel the need. I'll just get that evened up. And that looks quite good. Now, after that, we're going to put on a body hackle. Now, the body hackle we're going to use today is going to be a furnace hackle. Now, they're quite small hackles. It's a hen hackle. I mean, you can use a cock hackle if you want. I would add that to give the fly the correct movement in the water, a hen hackle is just unbeatable for these types of flies. So we'll come in and we're just going to trim off that stalk. There we go. Oops. Stop. Then we're going to pull the hackle back a little bit to expose the tip. It's just here. I'm going to come in with the hackle pliers. Grab the tip, and this is where it might go wrong, but hopefully not. If it's going to go wrong, it'll go wrong now. Oh, what did I say? It went wrong. I pulled off the tip. Not to worry, we'll come back in again. So we go around, and you can brush up the hackle actually going around doing this. Obviously, it's quite a small hackle as well, so you've got to be careful just exactly where you grab it. And we come around with our rib. Of course, me pulling off the tip hasn't really helped that, but we'll get it in. There we go. Just spit, and then we just come around. You might have noticed that I always give the palmered wet flies, I always give them 2 turns at the end. It just, you might get an extra 4 or 5 fish with the fly without having to change it. Just before the hackle gets undone. And then we'll come around, we'll make sure that's all nicely out. And we'll come in with the silk and we'll catch up the rib, tie it in. This is where having the wire instead of the tinsel really helps, because it just sits in place for you every time. And one thing that I like to do with the wire is cut it a little bit long. Don't cut it exactly at the end. And then with your thumb, you just go in and fold it back down again. And it just means you can come in and tidy it up so there's no little sharp ends now. Because there's nothing worse than that little sharp end hitting your thread at the very end of the fly. And of course, experience teaches you these things. Now, to finish off the fly, we're going to use another furnace hackle, again a hen hackle, a much bigger one in terms of fibre length than the last one, but we want this head to be really nice and bushy. So again, simple job, just prepare the hackle, pull the fibres down. That's it, that's about enough. Come in, I'll tie that up. Come back in here, trim that up. And now we're just going to cover up that entire area with the hackle. Oh, wait, that's the tipping from the old one. There we go. And around we go. Always fold your fibres backwards when you go. And don't worry, I mean, this might look a little bit like a disaster as you're getting it the first few turns round. It will sort itself out as the fly is finished. And we can take that all the way up and then come in, give it a couple of turns to trap in the hackle. Got one more. So we've gone left and right at the tip at least once. Come in, trim it off. Then fingers and thumbs, we're going to pull everything back to give it that lovely wet fly profile, and then we're just going to build up the head to keep it in place. Voila! And that fly's got everything going for it. It's got a lot of movement in the water. So to finish this off, we're going to come in with the whip finish tool. So you just catch it in. And of course you can varnish your silk or your thread, whatever you want to call it, before you do this. Or you can do it after, like we'll do today. Come in, scissors, and snip, and that's the fly done. Finish it off with a little coat of varnish. Of course, as any of you who watch my videos will know, I'm not very fancy when it comes to varnish. I prefer cheap nail varnish. It's never let me down. And you don't need to go overly heavy with it, just enough to cover the whipping. So once that's done, all we have to do now is just take an old hackle or something. I've got one lying about the table here. Come in, through the eye, pull it through, and that's your fly ready to fish. And there we go. Oh, there's something caught underneath it, you know. Telling you, it's been one of those days today. That's better. And that's your fly. Super simple, super quick, and super effective fly. So, hope you enjoyed that. Like I say, give it a go if you're heading up north. You can also try and vary the colour of the body. You can vary the hackle. You can do whatever you want with it. Like I said, I just combined two classic flies together to create what I call the Clan Palmer. So, hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time. Keep it well, side.